Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in. I am your host, Dr. Joretta Carey, welcoming you all aboard as we go full steam ahead. My guest for today was born right here on the beautiful island of Grand Bahama and considers himself to be a true entrepreneur at heart. He has been with the Grand Bahama Port Authority group of companies since 2000. He has served in numerous key capacities, including Chief Financial Officer, Group Financial Controller, and Group Financial Analyst. Currently, he serves as President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority Limited. President Rolle is passionate about the use of technology to create efficiencies in everything he is involved in. Since his appointment, he has implemented numerous initiatives within and out of the group of companies that are transformative in nature. Welcome to the show, President Ian Rolle.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, President Rolle. I'm well, and you?
I'm doing excellent, thank you.
Awesome. I'm so excited to have you here. We know that you're a lover of all things tech, and so you're the right person to have this conversation with technology about.
It's good to be here and congratulations on your show.
Thank you so much. And so, President Rolle, I want to ask you, first of all, what sparked your interest in technology?
Yes, my dad, when I was about 12 years old, he bought me this Timex 1000. It's a little black box. And you had to connect the box to a television set. And I took the manual and I read that from beginning to end. And I was able to design various objects, circles, squares, and put colors in it, and then make the objects move. And I just was just so thrilled with that, and then it advanced to another level. Then after I got tired of the little box, he bought me a Coleco Atom machine. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's I'm sure you probably don't.
No, I
it,
don't.
it you heard of floppy disks, but this one had a cassette disc and
Okay.
to store information on. And then from this Coleco Atom computer, then the IBM personal computer, and that IBM personal computer used 5.25 inch disc, floppy disk. I'm not sure if you know
Wow.
what that is either. So and
I know
then
about the floppy disk.
the floppy disk. So and then we moved to another computer with a 3.5 inch disk, and the rest was history. It went from one thing to the other, and it just spent time developing this gift. I believe that God has given me, and just love it. I have a passion for it.
Awesome. And so, about how old were you would say, when you first discovered your love for technology?
I think that was around 12 when my father bought that Timex 1000 home. I was probably around 12 years old. And it just grows from one thing to the next. I'm a busybody. I love gadgets. And always trying to learn something new and listen to the latest technologies out there, the trends.
Awesome. And so I'm sure in your capacity as president, you mentioned implementing technology to enhance the efficiency of what it is that you do. What are some of the ways that you've been able to do that?
Yeah, a part of our overall vision for the group of companies is to embrace technology in all areas, all departments, to bring about greater efficiencies. So if you walk into the headquarters building, from the very time you walk through the door, you will realize that you'll see technology. From the time you check in, you have to use an iPad, and we have a system there where you check in and the message is sent to the person that you're coming to see, and they can communicate back with you. Um, when you sit down in the lounge area, you see a smart TV. And on that smart TV, we're promoting a number of our initiatives. And there's smart TVs throughout the group of companies. For instance, we've had these Zoom type meetings now for over 3, 4 years. So all of my management meetings I run using Zoom or Citrix GoToMeeting, and we've been doing this for about four years now. Even accessing information in our system. For many years, we had access to our servers remotely using Citrix platform, which we call a thin client technology platform, and that gives us access, the managers in particular, access to information from anywhere in the world once you have internet access. So when this pandemic came upon us, we were ready in terms of being able to function. So
Right.
although many of us operating from home on most days, we're able to get things done. So and then right now, I'm also in the process of developing a portal where
Yes.
all of our services, all the services offered by the group of companies, will be persons will be able to access that online. And then also I wanted persons to be able to pay online. So
Awesome.
our payment portal is already integrated with our website, and we've just recently also launched one of the digital wallet platforms to allow persons to use the digital wallet platform called Canoe to pay our various bills. And we shortly going to introduce other payment platforms, and we just keep on going. The goal is to make it easier for our customers and our employees
Yeah.
by using technology.
Definitely. It definitely allows you to have that convenience. It's good when you don't have to necessarily be bothered with a lot of paperwork or having to commute just within a 9 to 5 time frame, and you can just do your business at your fingertips, you know?
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely happy to hear that the Grand Bahama Port Authority is considering the customers first and putting technology to best use.
And we also want you and the general public to let us know of any inefficiencies that exist, because that's another thing. We're very open to the public, and for those persons who want to even give us suggestions, send us your feedback to info@gbpa.com. That's
Yes.
info@gbpa.com. And we are very open to any sort of recommendations, any sort of issues that you would have in regards to how we could improve our working environment.
Yes, I love the proactive approach that you mentioned, whereby you had so many technologies employed prior to COVID, prior to Dorian and other um, inconveniences that you really couldn't predict. And we see now that even locally, a lot of businesses were definitely affected, whereby some of them could not even operate or they're closed down as a result of coronavirus and other, situations like that. So I would definitely encourage all business owners, if you haven't done so now, you can definitely see the usefulness of technology,
Yeah,
even when it comes to conducting daily business, for sure.
for sure. During the last few months, I've seen videos on social media, basically with persons having issues accessing money. They want to go to the ATM, and then there's no money at the ATM. But if these persons and businesses adopted the use of the digital wallets platform,
Yes.
one wouldn't have to go to a bank ever
So
to
true.
withdraw cash from an ATM. You simply use your mobile device and you go and you purchase whatever it is you so desire with no, and it's a seamless process. So again, most businesses, especially the small businesses, should adopt the use of digital wallets, and customers the same thing, adopt it, because you wouldn't have the issue of going to the banks. There's no money in the ATM on certain occasions, and then also just actually handling of cash at the moment. If there's a fear of the coronavirus being on
Exactly.
money, you wouldn't have that fear anymore because you have your phone doing transactions.
Exactly. You can social distance.
Correct. Absolutely.
Definitely. Awesome stuff. And so tell us about some of the other technology related initiatives outside of your group of companies that you might have been instrumental in launching.
Well, my wife um, is is hopefully she doesn't kill me. I'm going to tell a little about her business. I help her out to develop a concept, and she developed a model to help one of the telecommunications company here in the Bahamas. And again, it came from the knowledge of what could work. So she created a platform that added value to an existing platform. For instance, the platform didn't have certain functionalities. So I said to her, honey, you're working too hard. Let's just develop it. So hired a programmer and we developed the platform for her. Next minute, I see her coming to dinner with this laptop. I say, honey, what are you doing? I thought, we just worked to make it better for you by creating this portal. She said, well,
Right.
I have to still check on my customers all the time. I said, well, we shouldn't expect, you should not bring, a laptop to dinner. What kind of example we setting for the kids? So again, what I did for her is created, work with the developer and we created an app. So instead of pulling out the laptop, she could sneak and look at the cell phone, for instance, and still get her and run her business right from her cell phone. All right. And then I remember on another occasion where there was a particular market was saturated, and this is back in 2004, saturated with the sale of these hard type of products. And so what I did, I created a digital platform or partnered with a company that had this digital platform. I was basically able to introduce a product that was far superior than most of these companies would have seen, and it took away fraudulent activities. It made it very easy to do business, and a family member now is involved in that. I'm out of that particular business, but it was good. And again, it was all about technology, making it easier for all persons involved to benefit, and it added value to their entities.
Yes, and technology definitely allows us to work smarter and not necessarily harder, right?
Correct, correct.
Yes. So we mentioned a little bit about what's going on with Grand Bahama in terms of technology and its importance. How does the vision for Grand Bahama as it relates to technology tie in with what is happening globally?
Okay, so I'll tell you a story. Back in 2017, I was having lunch and watching Bloomberg while I was having lunch. And one of our greatest challenges here in Grand Bahama is the lack of critical mass. And I just so happened to watch a particular story that spoke about a work visa called an H-1B visa. And at that time, in early 2017, the new Trump administration was making it very
Yeah.
cumbersome for highly skilled persons in the tech sector to enter the United States. So I basically looked at that as an opportunity. One, yes, to address the critical mass issue that we have in Grand Bahama, but also to do it in a sensible manner, whereas to not to cause any sort of grief with Bahamians, because we have limited persons in that particular field. And these are
Correct.
fairly high paying jobs. So you want persons here in the Bahamas who can also take care of themselves with
Yes.
good wages. And so I then presented that idea to members of the new administration at that time in 2017. And the new administration was also interested in building a tech hub in Grand Bahama. And the administration formed a special committee, which I was a part of. And both myself and one or two other members of that committee also realized that us in the Bahamas creating our very own H-1B visa work visa would be instrumental to growing the tech industry in the Bahamas. And so the government of the Bahamas took the recommendations that we presented to it and
Yes.
implemented its very own H-1B program. It's called the BH-1B program. And unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to promote it globally as yet as a result of Dorian. And then now we have this
Right.
coronavirus issue. But when things settle down, I guess we're going to hit the pavement again and start to promote that initiative because I think it could be something fantastic for the tech industry in the Bahamas.
Yes, most definitely. Excellent. On another note, we mentioned the usefulness of technology within the corporate world. And of course, we see now, as a result of what's happening globally, our children and students, even at the university level, have been shifting more towards virtual learning. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think for the moment, the time that we're in, I think it's critical that everybody embraces that technology. However, I'm a big proponent of being around people. I
Yeah,
think the social aspect of just being in a physical community with persons is it's better than a virtual environment. Even when I have meetings, I prefer to have a physical presence with you. You can see the body contact, movement of gestures and eye body movements that could interpret certain behaviors.
right,
And
that
so,
nonverbal language.
yeah, correct. And so, yes, the virtual environment has its arena, but I think there needs to be a hybrid situation. That's my preference.
Yes, okay. Just this morning, I saw a few kids actually walking to school. I think that national exams have actually started. And so I pray that they continue to implement the various social distancing protocols and so forth. Because, like you said, it is key that they get to interact in person. And it has been a
Yeah,
while that we've been locked down, so you
like
just
kids need
need that.
structure. I
Yes.
I believe kids also need structure, and not everybody's going to have somebody home to monitor their kids. That is not going to happen. And so, if you're relying on a kid to police his or herself at home, I think that's a difficult thing, and that's why my preference would be for the kids to be in a physical environment with a teacher present to oversee their actions.
Right.
That'd be my preference for the greater good of all of the students because I know of all the distractions that they have at home.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, even just as far as the parents themselves, it's new for everybody. And
Yes,
so it's going to take some adjusting. And so definitely the teachers would be able to manage those situations better. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So, even apart from the virtual learning, though, do you feel that our kids locally are exposed to enough technology in the education system?
An answer to that is I don't think they are, right? But I don't think there's a silver bullet in regards to get kids interested in it. There are different ways you can, I think, make that happen. But I think parents are very, very instrumental in that process, even probably more so than a school. But yes, the school does have a role to play. But parents, just as my dad did when he bought this Timex 1000 computer home, I just so happened to enjoy that device. But it could have been something else that may have drawn me into the technology realm. For instance, parents could experiment by buying STEM toys, for instance,
Yes.
From Amazon, buy STEM toys from Amazon, or there are these free online coding initiatives. I think code.org is one of the online sites where you could introduce the kids to coding. I don't think that's,
Yes.
I don't know if that's in the school system from a very young age. And I think that needs to be in the school systems to allow kids to be able to program from a very young age, expose them to robotics, etc. I don't think it exists in the Bahamas. It's not a part of the curriculum. Then teachers, instead of teachers asking the kids to write an essay about what they did over the summer,
Right.
they should say, hey, create a video, right? Just go use a mobile phone. Most persons have access to a mobile phone. Create a video of what you did over the summer. And teachers could also say to the kid, instead of writing an essay on a piece of paper about a particular subject matter, create a website. I mean, these websites are very easy to create these days. So just to get exposure give exposure to these kids, tell them create a website and demonstrate or present whatever it is the topic is they plan to discuss. And that'll get kids more involved in the process. Then you could
I
also,
definitely agree.
yeah, put yourself then also in a position where you're a student. All these kids know these smart devices better than most adults. So
So true.
ask the kids to explain a smart device to you or something else dealing with technology just to see where their interest is at. And also, there might be some people who interested in solving some social problems. There are kids who might say, okay, I would prefer to research online some technology that would help with some social problem, turn them loose. So I think a lot more can be done. Maybe some of the teachers also need to be trained because there are teachers who are probably afraid of change and the use of technology.
Right.
So
That's
they are,
another thing.
that's another thing. So if they are accustomed to paper and pencil or paper and pen, I mean, then they're not going to help, in regards to getting kids interested in technology if that's all they know. So
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
they probably need retooling as well.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. And all of the kids these days are really interested in technology. You know, I have a 2-year old and she can find anything on YouTube, you know. So the interest is definitely there and we need to meet them where they are and spark their interests. And we'll be
Correct.
surprised to where that actually takes us. You know, and
Correct.
even when you mention about the code.org, I homeschool my 10-year-old, and that's a part of our curriculum as well, you know. And so there are programs out there that are available from the time that they can swipe, really. You can have them involved in that type of thing, and you'll be surprised to see what they come up with.
Yes, and what's very important to know is that every single industry can be made more efficient with the use of technology. So no matter what path the kid takes in life,
Yes,
the introduction of technology in that space could be critical for them to actually outcompete somebody else in the same field, or just to make it extremely efficient. So, everybody really should embrace the use of technology.
for sure. And we should be actually preparing our kids for contributing something to the global community, right? It's not
Correct.
just about your immediate community. Though gone are those days. You know, the world is at your fingertips, really. And so you have to prepare kids to be able to not only survive, but also thrive within global communities. And so
That's
technology
right.
is definitely a good way to start.
And sometimes, when you look at a problem and you could just think freely in regards to how can I solve this thing, and you could create something brand new with the use of technology. So that's what I love about it. You could create your own product to solve a problem.
Yes. Yes. And that's what STEAM is really all about. The T in STEAM stands for technology, and STEAM involves integrating your science, technology, engineering, art, and math to actually enhance critical thinking skills, problem solving abilities, as well as team working skills. And of course, we see how that can only benefit not only children, but everyone who wants to participate in the global community.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So here is a segment that I call Let's Blow Off Some Steam. All right. So I'm going to ask President Rolle a question related to each of the letters in STEAM: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And I'm curious as to how he's going to answer each of these questions.
I'm curious too.
Okay, so in the first category, science, if you had to choose between biology, chemistry, and physics,
Hmm.
which of these is your favorite?
Probably biology. And I say that because it would focus more on on the actually physical bodies of animals and other species, and think I'm more attractive to that than
Okay,
dabbling in chemicals and understanding force and pull and the other physics theories. So I would say biology.
awesome. Have you ever done a dissection?
No, I'm not interested.
Okay, so biology for the win. I like that. What about technology? What is your go-to tech gadget?
On my iPad. I use my iPad every day. In fact, I have a PC in my office, and I rarely use that. When I get
Wow.
home, I same thing. I have computers at my residence, but I think my iPad is my go-to. All the documents that I need to sign, license applications or approvals, all my various letters, I do it all on my iPad. So my iPad is the go-to.
Awesome. So what would you say is the best feature on your iPad?
Um, I think I love the ability to be able to actually write. I take all my notes, like my meeting notes. I
Yeah.
use a note taking application, and with my Apple Pencil, it's brilliant. Not only that I'm taking notes, but I'm signing documents using my Apple
Wow.
Pencil.
Awesome. Okay. Engineering. Have you ever designed something and brought that idea to life?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've done that. I've designed a program or programs. You heard me speak about helping my wife with her business
Yes.
earlier. So again, what I did, okay, I asked her, what is the challenge that you're having, and then just thought about how to put all the pieces together, and then you engage the professional, the programmer, the developer, the software developer, to take what's in your head and create it. So I love doing that.
Yes, awesome. That talks about the teamwork that we said, is so instrumental when we talk about doing STEAM related things.
Yes.
Great. In the category of art, what area of the arts do you fit in?
Uh, I'm not an artist. So that's a tough one for me. That's a very tough one. I could barely draw. My kids and my wife say I could barely write. So I type better than I write. So that's a tough one. Art
Okay,
is
so
really not my thing.
what about the performing arts? And it doesn't necessarily have to be, your painting and
Yeah,
so forth.
yeah.
But
So I enjoy good play, and I think that started from a very young age. My mom used to take me to James Catlin and Friends in Nassau. I was a very
yes,
young boy, And then I developed a love for just watching plays.
Good stuff. And math. Well, your background speaks for itself, right? Chief Financial Officer, Group Financial Controller, Group Financial Analyst, and so forth. But did you always have this affinity for math?
Yeah, I believe that also started from interaction with my dad. He would help me with my homework quite a bit. So I'll wake up early in the morning, and he would go over concepts with me, math concepts. And I just loved it. It's logical. It's all logical. I don't have a great memory, but I remember concepts. And once you understand the concepts and logic, you could solve the problems, right? And so I just develop a love for it. And the logic and conceptual part of math plays a role in many different areas of life.
Yes, for sure. So thank you. That was fun getting to know a little bit about, or getting to know a little bit more about you, President
Thank
Rolle.
you.
So we'll be back after this short break. And we're back. So, Mr. Rolle, what is it that keeps you going? What drives you?
You know, I think from a little boy, I always wanted to make a difference in in the Bahamas and the world. And so being in the chair that I'm in at the moment, it gives me that opportunity to actually make a difference to persons in Grand Bahama, and by
Yeah.
extension, persons in the Bahamas who benefit from what we do here. And also anything I do, I want to honor my Father in heaven by doing it with excellence. So everything I do, and so it doesn't matter what it is. So I I really love being able to help people. It's very fulfilling to me. And in these times that we're in, there are many people who are in need of assistance from services that we offer within the group. So it pleases me quite a bit to wake up every morning to know that I can make a difference in somebody's life.
That is so encouraging, President Rolle. And thank you. I'm sure that our viewers today will definitely be inspired, because I'm inspired as well, to just explore more about how technology can enhance not just our corporate responsibilities, but also how we can apply it to our everyday lives. Be sure to follow RBN TV Studios on all of our social media platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you are sure not to miss any of our programs. Well, folks, that does it for our show today. We encourage you to embrace and apply technology responsibly, beginning with the devices that you already have. Parents, be sure to monitor your children's use of the internet. As you know, it's the World Wide Web. And so we still have a duty to help filter and monitor what they are exposed to and to protect their curious young mind. Also, talk to your children about cyberbullying, and let us all do useful things with our internet time and engage in fun, uplifting, and positive activities on our social media platforms. Let technology fuel your engine as we move full steam ahead. Bye-bye.
You're watching RBNTV. We are networking, promoting, we're scoring points for you, proclaiming, declaring, here to encourage you. No matter the problem, we will enlighten you. We hear you, please listen. There is a point of view. You're watching RBN TV. We're transforming. Inspired by kingdom principles that work for you.